Hi, Leah.
Hi, Kamna.
So I'm excited we're doing something new today.
We're recording live.
Yes, we're recording ourselves talking to each other.
I know, as we sit next to each other.
It's
So
weird.
I don't know where to look. I really don't. So if I'm looking down and up and all around, we'll get used to it eventually, I think, right?
Yeah, it's all fine.
Okay.
Today we're talking about food chasers.
Yeah. And I was intrigued by this when you said, let's talk about food chasers, I went, tell me more.
What does it mean to you?
Well, embarrassingly enough, all I could think about was drink chasers.
Oh,
Like when I was a drinker and I would need a chaser and I would say, wait, if I'm doing this shot, then I need a chaser with it. Like, where's my
Oh.
chaser?
What typically would go together?
A Diet Coke, a regular Coke, an orange juice, anything that had taste, so that the taste of what I was drinking tasted better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's what I thought of.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, I'm not really a drinker, so for me it was more.
Wait, have you never been a drinker?
No.
Oh, okay.
I've had drinks,
but not like shots.
I don't like crave that feel. Anyway, that's a whole other topic.
Okay.
But what I thought of was, it used to be that when I would have something sweet, then I would crave something salty. And always, even now, actually, after dinner, I crave something sweet.
Is it always something sweet?
Always. And I figured out there's a reason why it happens.
Oh, good. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear about this. So, but before we jump into it, let's talk about our call to actions.
Yes.
You want to go first?
I can go first.
What was yours?
Mine was to figure out if I am wanting to eat, to break the pattern by analyzing what emotion is happening that makes me want to eat.
Wait, start over.
I know, I have too many words. Sorry.
Okay, so you were going to break the pattern.
So our topic was doing things the way you always do them.
Right.
And what my way was handling stress and anxiety by eating. So
okay.
I wanted to kind of be aware of when those moments happened. The problem with my call to action, it was far too broad. So it was actually very difficult for me to do.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
So you didn't pick anxiety to do, or stress or anger or any of those specific things. You just did everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't really have a plan of action going into it. So I think it made it very difficult for me to do my call to action.
Okay. That's a great learning point for everybody listening.
Yes.
Is that, first of all, sometimes we set our goals that are just, they don't make sense.
Right. I don't think it made sense. It was far too vague. And it was really kind of random in some ways.
Okay.
But I did have a couple of moments. There was one moment when I was feeling afraid for somebody. You know, sometimes you start worrying, and then you go down the path of, what if this happens? What if that happens? And then you get going on a path. So when that happened, I ended up eating something that I shouldn't have eaten. And then I'm like, this is a moment that I'm supposed to be thinking about. Why did I do that? And I figured out it was because I was afraid, and that fear led to anxiety, which led me to eat.
Good for you. You stopped and you paid attention.
But I had already eaten the thing.
Yeah, but I think that's important, though. I think that so many times we need to do that, even if we've already eaten something, binge ate something, cried over something, like what caused it.
Yeah.
Don't you think that's the most important part of all of this? Yeah. It's not important to stop doing it. It's more important to figure out why you did it in the beginning.
Yep. And I think what I also learned was I need to make my call to actions a little bit more specific so that I can actually do them.
So does that mean I need to be like, nope, get what?
Yes.
Okay.
You should.
Look, I could practice that. You're really good at that. I need to get good at it.
It's your responsibility towards me, so I can do it.
When you put that word, it made me feel like it's responsibility.
How did yours go?
Mine went good. Mine went really, really good. I'm still nursing an injury, but it's getting better. Mine was to do 15,000 steps a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I hit it every single day since last week.
Are you kidding?
I'm so proud of myself.
Wow.
And there were probably at least 3 days when, after I'd taken my shower for the night, which is only 6 o'clock, let's be honest, I would look at my Fitbit and it was at 12,000, and I would be like, no, this is ridiculous. I can get this in.
Wow.
So I did a lot of chair running. I did a lot of chair jumping jacks. I did a lot of watching a TV show while I was like sitting in the chair.
That's so good.
Yeah. That's 3,000 steps at least 3 times a week. So 9,000 steps that I wouldn't have gotten.
Wow.
Yeah. I wasn't pretty impressed with that.
Do you
The-
think it was hard for you?
No, it was not hard, but what it was work. Meaning I had to consciously say, no, you're supposed to get 15,000. We're not going to sit and play your puzzle. I do this puzzle thing. You're not going to do your puzzle because you didn't get your steps.
Yeah.
And there was the one night I was like really mad at myself because I was like, I just wanted to play my puzzle tonight.
Yeah.
So it made me realize that I need to get my steps in a little bit sooner.
Okay.
I know. I was happy. I'm going to keep doing it. Oh, I also changed it up a bit and I wrote it, I think in another notebook I have 15,000 steps per day is my goal. But really for the month of June, it's 450,000 steps.
Well, I guess that mathematically makes sense.
Makes sense.
Right.
And this way it gives me that little bit. Okay, so I didn't get it today. Then tomorrow maybe I'll get 22,000, or maybe it gives me that freedom to not have to do it. I still have the whole month as the goal.
I really like that. But that number seems so ominous though. I
Mhm.
mean, 450,000 it's a lot.
But I did 15 times 7 now, whatever that would be.
Right.
I don't know what it is. Do you? No,
35,000.
I don't know. I did whatever that is. And then that's only week 1. So it's doable.
Wow, that's very impressive.
I'm excited. I'm excited to do it. It's a new June goal.
I like it.
Yeah.
When I was walking, I'm like, Leah's doing 15. I have to do more.
See, and now we know somebody that does minutes and she's at 80 minutes a day. And that's what I kept saying was
Mhm.
like, I'm complaining over 3,000 steps and she's done 80 full minutes. Like
Right.
this is ridiculous.
Right.
So that was in my head.
Yeah. You get inspired by other people.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
All right. We ready to food chase?
I think so.
All right.
We got to chase our call to action with something.
That's a good point. Great point. All right. Let me tell you what I looked up first.
Yes.
Because I immediately went to what do I food chase after I eat dinner, after I eat lunch, after I eat something? First of all, for me, I only do it at dinner.
Oh, really?
I don't feel the need to quote unquote finish off my meal at breakfast with something sweet or salty. My breakfast is just breakfast.
Right.
Same with lunch.
Why do you think that's different?
If I was to guess, I would say this is a habit.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we'll dive into that. But that was my first thing that I realized. What about you? Do you feel the need at breakfast and lunch?
No, I don't feel the need. And even the snacks in the afternoon that's changed. So I don't feel the same need to eat a cookie or eat some crackers or
So that's your lunch, you mean?
no, I mean, whatever I'm eating at lunch, like I had a salad today.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
You don't need something after it.
No.
Why? So it gives me hope, actually. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, if I can do it at breakfast and lunch, then I certainly could do it at dinner.
I have this memory of when I was maybe 10. I was with my friend who lives in Georgia, and I was there for a week. And her
Okay.
mom taught me how to make my first cake. It was a chocolate chip cake.
From
But-
scratch?
Yes, from scratch. But they had
Okay.
this cake and they had dessert every day after dinner.
Okay.
And it was part of their routine, or, it was a little throwback to that Leave It to Beaver kind of,
Yeah.
like you have a piece of cake after dinner and you have a cup of coffee.
Yep.
And I guess those are the chasers, but they all go together. And it really took me back to that memory of being in our house and making this cake, and we had the dinner and I was so excited to eat the cake. And
Did you do that with your family though?
so we had a different routine. Is when my kids were growing up, they would have their dinner and then we'd give them baths, and then they would come and have milk and cookies.
Okay.
It
So
was kind of
that was
fixed.
their bedtime snack.
Yeah.
Interesting. But is that a chaser?
I don't know, because it wasn't directly linked to the dinner
Right.
or another snack, but it was a part of their routine.
Gotcha.
So if you're saying that some of these things are habits, then it could just be that we've done this always.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. I think that's what for me it is like, I think it's all habit based.
So if I eat ice cream,
Mhm.
I definitely want something salty. Does that
In
have-
your ice cream or after you eat ice
After.
cream?
is it
Really?
like a palate cleanser?
That's fascinating, which I looked up. It's like a taste transition.
Oh, what is that?
I really don't know, because I found it on accident and then I couldn't find anything, but it was really about how sometimes your taste buds actually want something different. They had too much of the, maybe for you, the ice cream, too much overload of the sugar and the
Mhm.
creamery and the richness and that they're like, I need some kind of transition, get me out of this.
Yeah.
Which is, it's very possible, right?
So you need a taste transition? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe you do.
Huh. Very
I know.
interesting.
So, okay. So sugar, is that what you usually crave?
No, I usually crave the salty after the sweet.
So you're never like, oh, I just need a piece of chocolate after
Well,
dinner.
and that's not fair.
Okay.
Okay. So after dinner, I often crave dessert or something sweet.
Okay. Yes, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After dinner.
After dinner.
Do you indulge?
Usually, yes.
Okay. What
Yeah.
what is your go-to?
Gosh, whatever I can find. Usually it is some kind of chocolate or a piece of candy or snow cone or something like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. But this is an interesting topic because to me, a food chaser is something right after we eat
Mhm.
versus I love to have a bedtime snack.
Oh, okay.
So maybe a little different there,
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense to me.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, let me tell you what I found out about the sugar about after I eat my meal, if I'm craving sugar, this was fun. There was some science that says one, you're not getting enough protein.
Oh, okay.
So I could not feel done because I don't have enough protein, fat, or vitamin P. What do you think that means?
Potassium.
No,
Oh, what is it?
pleasure.
Oh.
I did the same thing. I went, oh, I was so excited. And it was a fun article on how if you're eating something just because you know it's healthy or you know it's good or you don't even really like it, you really want something that's going to give you pleasure. If I don't get pleasure from my meal, I probably want ice cream even more. If I don't get pleasure from what I'm eating, I probably are more likely to want chocolate. Or
Interesting.
isn't that fun?
Yeah. Wow.
What do you think of that?
I think that makes sense. That's actually
Okay, yeah. Tell me what you found.
connected to some of the things I was looking up of why we crave. And we've talked about cravings before, but if you crave it, it could be that you're depriving yourself throughout the day. So that's why
Yep.
you feel like you need to indulge, which is your vitamin P. I'm going to use that. From
Isn't it
now on.
fun?
Yes.
Vitamin P.
So I found this guy on YouTube. Very interesting reason why we crave salt after the sweet.
Okay, so you're going salty now. Tell me.
It's a little nerdy.
Okay, I'll bear with you.
There's a separate section for why we crave the sweet after dinner. I'm going to get to that in a minute.
So we're going salty first.
Salty first.
Okay.
So when you eat something sweet, your blood glucose goes up.
Okay.
So you have high blood glucose. Why can I not talk today? And then as a result, your sodium starts leaking out of your cells.
Okay. I'm following
It's
you.
just the biology.
It's how our bodies work.
Yeah. And then you also become deficient in potassium.
Oh. From too much sugar?
Yes.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay.
So let me explain a little bit more.
Okay, yeah.
This guy was Dr. Eric Berg. He had a YouTube video that I watched.
Okay. I'm gonna write him down.
And he said you should have a 1-to-2 ratio of sodium to potassium. And when you eat salt, that ratio goes out of balance.
Okay.
So as a result, you can have palpitations, you can have pounding in your ears, you can have trouble sleeping. You may feel out of breath going upstairs when you don't have enough potassium. So he said, as a result of that high blood glucose, you will crave salt because the salt is getting depleted, but your potassium is also getting depleted. And potassium doesn't lead it to any cravings, but it can cause other problems. And if that salt makes you feel good, you're going to chase that feeling of feeling good.
So when you have sugar, a lot of other things are going on. It has not, it's more than just, gosh, I really want something salty now.
Yeah.
There's reasons for it.
Yes. I was fascinated because when we first decided on this topic, I'm like, we're not going to have anything to say. Yeah. I crave salty after sweet. So big deal. But there's a reason.
There's a reason. So do you think that, so if I eat, let's say ice cream, if I eat ice cream tonight, I don't need anything else after. Do you think it's because my body isn't depleting on the potassium or whatever? That's
Or
what you said,
salt,
or the
sodium,
salt.
yeah,
So my body is not releasing it at as quick of a pace as maybe yours is.
right, or maybe you are at a substantial level of sodium in your body, so you don't feel that craving.
Okay, that could be. I love my salt.
Yeah,
That's really interesting. And I think that anybody that's listening to this could be like, oh, if they're on the side that you are, like, I always crave something salty after sweet.
mhm.
That could be very important to pay attention to.
There was something else I'm trying to find, about salt. Okay, let's keep talking. and I'll
Okay,
find it.
okay. I'll tell you what I heard about the sweet and the salty, or the salt. A lot of times when you crave your salt after you eat, maybe because you're stressed and this is what you want to unwind with.
Mhm.
So you just had your dinner and you're like, God, I need something salty. Are you stressed? Or are you tired or dehydrated? Those are all things that
Mhm.
lead to that sodium feeling in your body, that you need that sodium. So I was like really, really thinking about that, going, if I eat dinner and then I'm like, gosh, I just need some popcorn right now. What's going on? Like,
Mhm.
to really circle back and find that out, what's causing it.
Right,
If it's just my dinner and I'm chasing it with salt. Now, obviously, what you said about the sugar is a little different, but if I feel like I need to chase my dinner with a snack of Cheetos or potato chips or something like that, there's an underlying reason going on.
yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I agree. The thing about the salt, which I finally found, is that if you are not getting enough salt, then you can have addictive pathways in your brain, which make you more sensitive and make sugar cravings even more intense.
Really?
So we always think that salt is bad, but really it's not. It
Hmm.
can help balance everything out. You know how you like put a pinch of salt in a dessert?
Yeah.
It's the same idea. We need salt to have balance.
That's the documentary I watch on Netflix. And she says you have to have salt a little, I mean, not tons, but yeah, like you said, a pinch, and it does balance it out.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
It is interesting.
I'm very intrigued by the fact well, first of all, I need to pay attention more this week about what if I am chasing my dinners. I know I'm not chasing my breakfast and my lunch, but am I chasing my dinner with something?
So you're in the camp of you need something sweet
Usually I
after
am.
dinner.
I want something sweet.
So I found something interesting from this person. Her name was, I didn't write it down,
That's
Sorry.
all right. We'll credit her
but
when
she
we
said
find
your
her.
body craves sweets as a way of getting a quick spike of energy to support the digestive process, and your body burns calories as it is digesting.
Wait, it wants that to break down the food I just ate?
It wants it to give you energy to do the digestion.
Okay.
That's why we crave the sweet after dinner.
I can buy that because I'm exhausted after dinner.
Yes.
And I'm done. Like, I don't even want to do anything else.
Yes.
So the simple fact that my body wants that to try and help digest everything makes so much sense to me.
And how many times have you eaten a meal and you're like, I could take a nap right now?
Oh yeah. Every time.
Yeah.
But this is interesting. Okay. Does it really do that though?
That's what this,
But does sugar like help boost you a little bit to help?
yeah, well,
Okay.
sugar gives you a spike of energy anyway.
Yeah.
That's why when you're super hungry, you want the sugar or carb because it gives you that boost of energy.
Yeah. That's what you crave.
Yes.
Okay.
Quick energy.
For sure.
So the other thing I was sort of thinking about, and my notes are getting all messed up, which is why I'm having trouble today.
I think we're both distracted with our camera.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
really think this is part of it.
Yeah.
So everybody who's listening, just be patient with us today. But here, let me tell you this though. I was looking at what I'm craving, sugar, what I'm craving, salt, and why I'm doing this, right? And for a lot of us, it's just an I'm done for your brain.
What does that mean?
So in other words, like, I don't feel like I'm done eating until I get that quote unquote chaser.
Oh,
And then my brain gets the signal, okay, now she's done. And then I don't really need anything after that.
hmm.
But my brain is waiting for me to go, okay, what's going to be the next food item? Then once I have that, it's that signal.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's where I think the habit comes in.
Well, the habit is definitely part of it, but there's something else with what you just said, is that if you're eating the same thing all the time, you get bored. And there's something that I found called taste fatigue.
Okay.
So your body's like, okay, I'm over this. This is boring. Let's go on to something else. So you're going to crave something else as a way of variety. And it could be sensory. So it could be crunchy versus like smooth. It could be savory. It could be spicy. It could be something that's different that you crave because you just need some variety. And that is a biological response to keep us well-rounded. So if we don't get enough nutrition, have you ever been on vacation and you're like, I could just eat a salad right now?
And when I come home and I crave a salad, yes.
Because your body is saying, look, we don't have enough nutrition. I need that salad. Give it to me. So it's the same thing. Your body is saying, look, I need variety and I need sensory experience and your vitamin P. So give me all of it and give it to me all the time.
Okay. This makes sense to me.
So taste fatigue occurs when you eat the same food over and over, and we go towards familiar, but then we can be in a rut.
Which is actually leads us to the other part of this whole food chasing topic is like both sugar and salt both said, if you are craving sugar and salt, one reason you may be doing that is because you're depriving yourself throughout the day.
Yes.
So if we're depriving ourselves, it's just going to lead you to want that taste variety?
Yes.
Even more.
If you're on a diet all the time, your body is going to rebel.
I agree with this.
So I went on this website to look up why you crave desserts. And this lady said to stop the habit. And it goes along with what you were just talking about. Examine your after dinner sweet cravings and see if they're a habit or an actual craving.
That's what part of my call to action is actually, but yeah.
Really?
So she says, does there steps on how to do it or just be conscious of it?
Well, she said, when you have that moment after dinner, are you craving something specific sweet or is it just, I need something sweet?
Okay.
Because that can mean that it's a habit.
Okay.
And then the second thing to do is identify the cue and the reward. So if you identify, you finish dinner, you finish doing the dishes, and now you want something sweet, or even whatever your routine is. And then you're like, I want something sweet, and then I'm going to feel good. So that's the pattern, right? You have a cue and you have a reward.
Okay.
And then the third thing is to disrupt your routine, which is the hardest.
Which is what you worked on a couple times. You worked on that, like
Yes.
not sitting in this spot, working in sitting in a different spot.
Yes.
Okay.
So disrupting your routine is probably the hardest piece of this puzzle.
Okay.
And a couple of other suggestions that I found, which were really interesting. Obviously, one, take a walk because it decreases your blood sugar load. And the second is to take a hot shower.
Really?
It should be a pretty warm shower, not scalding hot. And you should stand there for at least 5 minutes. There's something about that experience of the warm water. And this website said you walk out of it dazed, like you've just had an experience. So it distracts you enough from the sweets that you can move on to something else.
So do that before you eat your chaser. I could do that. I could practice that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I still might want it.
That's okay.
But yeah, I think so too. The other thing that I said was a lot of it is important to think about what you're eating, which goes along with what you're saying is like pausing. Is it what's the cue? What's going on? Why do I want this? But maybe making a different choice.
Like what?
They recommend actually dark chocolate or a good tea that's not caffeinated.
Okay.
Like a sweet tea or something like that. And that enough to maybe take the edge off for the need for it. Maybe.
Would you, this is a question I would want to ask you. Would you want to change your chaser?
No.
Okay.
And I don't even think I want to stop it, by the way. Because but I think that there's points in my life when it's gotten out of hand, but I don't think I'm at an out of hand point right now. I think it's like, okay, yeah, let's have, what do we want to eat while we're watching this? But I'm again going back to, is this a habit? Is it a routine? Is it food chasing? Is it what exactly would I call it?
Right.
And I think that's where I'm stuck.
You're stuck?
Yeah, I'm stuck with this topic.
Oh. There was a list of questions that I found, which I thought were interesting. And some of it we've already talked about, but
Okay.
to ask yourself when you are wanting a chaser or craving something, am I eating enough? Which we talked about.
Right,
Like
right.
if you're in diet mentality.
Yep.
The second is to check and see what is the balance of your food. Are you getting enough nutrients?
The protein, the fat, the carb, the fiber, all of that in there, right?
Salt also.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Um, do you have you given yourself permission to eat sweets?
That's a great question.
Yeah. Do you
That's
feel
a
like you ever
great
say no
question.
to yourself?
Yeah. I'm like,
And
no,
what is
not
that? What
eating that.
happens after that?
Well, it depends. I think what I would need to do from this, for me to honestly answer this question would have to be to deprive myself of something and then see what I eat later that day.
Hmm.
And maybe my subconscious goes, well, you said no at school, so now we can have it tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do I do that? Maybe.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. Do you?
I have a story.
Okay.
Okay, so this week I was getting my hair cut, which I posted a story about. And then I went underneath, like on the first floor of the plaza where I was at, there was a cake shop. And I never really buy cake anymore or eat it even. I'm just trying to get away from sugar. But I'm like, let me just see if they have some gluten-free stuff. So I saw a chocolate cupcake and I'm like, I'm just gonna buy one chocolate cupcake.
Was it gluten-free?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I backed up and I'm like, oh, what's the one behind it? So they're like, oh, that's a salted caramel one. So I'm like, I'll take both.
So you got 2 cupcakes. I'm so excited. Go on, tell me more.
So I got 2 cupcakes and then I ate my lunch and I think it was something pretty good, pretty healthy. And then I'm like, let me have half of each of the cupcakes.
Okay. Because then that's 1 cupcake, which was your original plan.
Right.
Go on. I'm following this logic.
I ate the chocolate, oh my gosh, chocolate cupcake, and that was good. And then I ate the salted caramel, and that was also pretty good. And
Did
then
you eat all of one and then all of the other, or did you do like a bite and then a bite and then a bite?
No, I'm a one thing at a time
Okay.
person.
That's interesting. I would have probably mixed and matched, but go on.
I probably was as a child separating my peas and carrots kind of person. That's who I am.
Okay, gotcha.
So I ate the 2 halves, and I was like, I was okay, and I was feeling actually a little sick because I don't have a habit anymore. And then I ate a second half of the chocolate.
So now you're at 1.5 cupcakes.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I felt sick. I felt nauseous. I felt completely bloated. I'm like, why did I do that? It
Mhm.
wasn't even worth it. And then I went down the whole self
Self-beat
negative-
yourself
yeah.
up, to hate yourself and what?
and then
Yeah.
the half of the salted caramel is still sitting there on the counter. I'm like, let me just see if I want it in a little while. And then the evening came, I made myself a salad because I'm like, this is stuff has got to get out of me.
Okay.
Okay.
You need
Sorry, that's very graphic. But then
cleanse.
I ate the salad and I threw the cupcake away. I'm like, I feel just so disgusting. I can't even look at it.
Really?
Mhm.
Good for you for throwing it out.
Well, I think the point of my story in a very long way is I didn't deprive myself. I went in there and
Right.
it looked good. And I'm like, let me try it. But I didn't like the way that I felt. And I've had enough of a cause and action, what's the cause and effect
Yeah.
relation that I'm noticing that I don't want to do it anymore.
So what would you do differently?
I would not have gotten the cupcake because
You just wouldn't have eaten got
I
one.
don't have control.
What do you think caused you to get the 1 cupcake?
I was like out and I was just roaming around and
Were you annoyed with somebody? Were you
No,
mad at
I
somebody?
was hungry.
Oh, there you go.
I was hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I was like, I had a plan for what I was going to eat in the day and it got a little late. Because sometimes when you get your hair done, it takes forever.
You were hungry. That's the only reason you went into that bakery to begin
Yes,
with.
Yes. I was hungry. So
Yeah, and when you're hungry, you definitely need 2 cupcakes. 1 does not do it. Well,
Okay.
because your stomach is literally going, gosh, 1 is not gonna, I'm still gonna be hungry.
Well, in the car, I was like, should I taste it now? And I said, no. I'm going to go home. I'm going to put it on a plate and I'm going to eat it like a lady. I'm not an animal here. I'm going to go home.
Did you say I'm not an animal. I would have
Yes,
been licking
I
it.
said that to my friend. I just took a little taste of the frosting. I'm like, that's pretty sweet. So
Okay,
I'm gonna-
good. That makes me feel good. You did take a taste of it.
I did.
Okay, good.
But the point is, like, I went home and I'm like, I'm gonna have lunch first and then I'm gonna eat this cupcake.
And you didn't?
No, I had lunch
You
first.
did have lunch
Yeah.
first. Okay.
But I was like, I don't feel good at all. Not even a
Did
little
you
bit.
chase that with anything?
I should have actually not even eaten dinner and just had a bunch of
Yeah.
hot water and gone to bed. It just did not feel good.
Hot water. Oh, that's a good one. I'm gonna have to try that one.
Have you never eaten
No, I've never drank hot water.
if you're like had a big meal?
No, but I might need to. Does it help?
I think the lemon water helps with digestion.
Warm lemon water.
Yes, and it tastes good.
Interesting. Okay. No, I don't think I've ever done that.
So,
But-
you give yourself permission to eat sweets, and then the
Okay.
next question is, can you eat sweets any time of the day, or do you deny it? So, if you had a craving at breakfast, would you say, I can eat sweets?
I would say I don't need this right now. So is
But
it
you're not
different?
denying yourself.
I'm probably am denying it. I'm probably saying, no, this is ridiculous. You do not need this right now.
Yeah.
I probably am.
So it's the denial piece that's really the big thing.
So if I deny myself 15 times in the morning, maybe that's why I want it at night.
Maybe. And then the other is, are you stressed? Are you lacking sleep?
Yeah.
And then was your meal satisfying, which we've talked about all three of those.
Yeah. A lot of great questions to really ask yourself if you really are craving something.
Well, I think the biggest thing for this topic was I felt like there are reasons why. I'm not
Mhm.
just it all in my head or I'm not crazy. There's reasons why this exists and this happens.
Mhm.
And made me feel better.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I do. And I'm really intrigued at my habits now because I don't know what I am still.
Mhm.
And I don't, and you really just had me thinking, like, do I deprive myself throughout the day of sweets and stuff?
Mhm.
And I think I do.
So even if like I would have made a plan to eat that cupcake,
Mhm.
I think even that allowance, like I'm gonna eat it later, is enough permission.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, in your opinion, is there a difference in saying, I can have that, but I don't need it right now? Is there a difference?
Probably,
Okay.
because if you're saying I can't eat it because I'm gonna blow my diet
Oh yeah, I don't say that, but I
versus
might
I'm gonna
say,
have it later.
oh, no, you don't need that.
Yeah, I think if you say I'm gonna have it later, it's just fine.
I think so. But I am going to pay attention to this because now I'm really thinking about if I need sugar at night, why? Is it
Mhm.
because I've deprived myself all day? Maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's because I didn't get pleasure in my dinner. I will tell you, I would say to you, maybe 5 times a week, I don't get any pleasure from my food at dinner.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh
at
my gosh,
all.
that makes me so
I just eat
sad.
because I know I have to eat.
That makes me very sad.
Yeah. I don't think I get pleasure from any of my food.
Oh,
Unless it's cake, unless it's at a party, but I don't really get pleasure from it.
Hmm.
Do you?
I think I'm trying to. I'm trying to eat things that are
Hmm.
an experience and
I actually am changing my call to action now because I think what I need to do is start asking myself, did this meal bring me pleasure?
okay.
I really think and I mean breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I need to figure that out.
I really like that. But how are you gonna do that? Just before you eat?
No, I think after I'm done eating it, I'm going to be like, was this pleasurable? Because
Mm.
then maybe that'll change my course for tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my lunch before I came here was not pleasurable. It was just, I knew I needed to eat something or I would be at that starving moment.
Hmm.
I don't want to live like that.
No. Food is a pleasurable thing.
Food, and believe me, I get plenty of pleasure from food, but it's not from at my day to day.
Wow.
So what's your call to action?
My call to action is, and it's not completely related to this, is I'm making it specific this time.
Okay, very specific.
I'm gonna try to eat a salad 5 days of the week.
Breakfast, I mean, dinner or lunch, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It has
Okay.
to be once in the day.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do that 5 days a week for a month to see how I feel and to see if it curbs any of my cravings.
Oh. Meaning to see if it you crave a food chaser, or
Mhm.
it maybe eliminates a habit at the night,
Yeah.
or, okay. If you had a guess right now, what are you gonna guess?
I think it will, because if I'm seeking nutritional variety,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to experiment with my salad to make sure that I have that variety,
Okay,
so then I can be satisfied.
so salads, meaning any kind of salad? So does it have to have some type of lettuce or romaine, or are we calling a salad like an avocado, tomato, onion mixture?
Anything that has vegetables in it.
Okay. Okay,
I think
it's a good,
I'm gonna try to do that.
okay. I would love pictures, by the way, just saying.
Okay, you need proof.
No, I don't need proof. I'm just curious. Like, I would love to see what your salads look like, because I think that a lot of times I get in a salad rut and I need some different, like, variety.
Ideas, yeah.
Yeah. So I think showing your salad would be helpful. But
For sure, I will do that. I have to take
I'm
pictures now.
actually intrigued to find out how you feel. And I mean, like, getting everything moving, like bowels and all of that.
Yeah.
Like, is there going to be a difference when you're doing that?
Okay, you want details?
Well, I mean, you don't have to share those type of details, but I just
Also,
wonder. Well, Jordan Sayat, we interviewed him before, and he's really, really big on everybody should eat a salad every single day.
Yeah, he calls it a big something salad. I can't.
Oh
say it,
yeah.
so-
He says we should have, can I say it?
Sure.
He says that everybody should have a big ass salad every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Maybe.
my call to action.
All right. When you're doing 5 days.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.